Did I do it right?
I think
so. Buddy! Man, it's like, usually I have Adam on the phone so I can call him and kind of bounce ideas. I'm like, Adam, am I doing this right? But AJ walked me through it very well. Good job.
Well, I stumbled through it, I would say, but...
Well, you're the co-pilot. You're Chewbacca.
You know, I watch him do it enough. I figured, hey...
I'm over there. I never see what you guys are doing. I got the wall of, like, just TV screens and monitors, so I never know what's going on. But, hey, welcome to the Cowboys CanFan Show main event. Basically 1 week away from the NFL season, which I'm extremely excited for. And but we're here, just us two. Or is it just us two?
Ho! What is this? A reveal like in the WWE?
I don't know. I'm just dipping it to you.
Yeah. Well, we have a special guest on here from Fantasy Life. Is it Matthew Berry's Fantasy Life or Fantasy Life with Matthew Berry? Either way, Cooter Doodle, thanks for joining us today.
Glad to be here.
Yeah, we'll be talking some fantasy football, but first we were talking a little off air, and Cooter Doodle is a Saints fan.
Okay, all right. Who day? Is it Who day? Who day? Right?
Who
Bengals is Who day? Who dat? Wait, we dat? Who there? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Who day? Who dat? Who dat?
Cowboys is just please win.
Yeah, Cowboys
please
is just
win.
Okay. Saints. So that's interesting. Okay, they just released that Rattler's going to be your starting quarterback.
Yeah, I was just saying it off camera. I hope it sticks. We'll see. I don't have high hopes this season, you know.
So are you from that area? Are you around New Orleans?
Yes, I am, and I have been to the Dome many a times and left sad after a loss to the Cowboys. So I know what it's like.
Yeah, but you got a Super Bowl in at least the last 20 years. So that's always feels good. Well, welcome. We appreciate you hopping on to talk some fantasy football. We've been playing fantasy football for, I don't know, I think my first year playing fantasy football, 2000, I want to say 2002. I was in high school, so it was a long ass time ago. But I'm terrible at it. So you could give me some tips. And I actually have 2 fantasy drafts coming up, but
yeah, you leave tomorrow for one.
I leave tomorrow for a guy's trip to do a fantasy football draft. I know it sounds. Oh, crack him if you got him.
If you got him.
Okay, let me get one. Sorry, Cooter Doodle, I got to get one in here too. Crack him if you got him.
Feel free to.
And it doesn't have to be alcoholic. I'm drinking bubblies.
I thought I saw maybe you had a bevy there going. It looked like it was in a cup. I don't know. Yeah, just
some bourbon.
Oh, okay. All right, okay.
Shoot him if you boot him. Shoot him if you boot him. Well, welcome. Thank you for making some time to talk fantasy football. But before we get into anything, AJ kind of got you on here, so I don't know what you guys have pre-talked about, but what? So the site that you are with is
Fantasy Life.
FantasyLife.com. Yep. Matthew Berry is the big boss man.
You know, funny enough, when I first started to get into the apps. Oh, sorry. Let me bring it. I had it on the wrong screen.
There you go.
When I first started to get into using apps and not just paper for fantasy, there's so much more guessing. Matthew Berry was one of the first dudes who, I believe he had a podcast at the time that was just. I don't remember it being Fantasy Life, but that could just be my memory. So it might have been pre that. I don't know if how long he's had that. But yeah, he just had a great podcast, and that was my main source of, okay, I'm gonna make these moves. So when I saw that you had that connection, I was like, all right.
Yeah, he's the OG. Everybody knows him. That was probably back when he was in the Mr. Roto days.
Yes. But, yeah. Okay, cool.
Sorry, guys, I got to cut you off. We have Will Berger and I can't get the chat up on screen. I don't know. We're not doing it right. But Will Berger with a $20 super chat. Love me some fantasy talk. Also, 1 week away from a cowgirl ass whooping. He's an Eagles fan, but Will Berger, we appreciate the super chat. I can't get chat working, but that's irrelevant.
That's all right. You know what? You can talk, and I like what I'm hearing there. I guess to kick things off, what we care about most, obviously, is the Dallas Cowboys. Mm-hmm. And so I'm kind of how we do things is we'll have a main storyline, but there is going to be a lot we can shoot off to a lot of little side stories. So what I really think that we want to kind of know is your thoughts on where are we ranking Dak Prescott? Where is he ranking?
Oh, I like that.
Because go ahead.
Dak is an interesting person this year because you look back at what he's doing. First of all, as a fan, can I get a feeler out, a temperature check? How are you feeling as a fan? and then we can talk fantasy.
Okay, so he had that great,
Delusional.
he had that.
I'm always delusional going into season.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, with
Dak should be drafted number 1.
It's Super Bowl, right? Super
Bowl or bust.
Yeah. He had a great 2023 season, and then of course the injury, and he wasn't having the best season last year before the injury. So it's a little bit of which Dak are we going to get? I think I think the surrounding cast that he has is stronger than last year, especially with Pickens. So expectations, as they always are unusually high, or unfairly high.
And look, I don't think you're wrong. I mean, even on like some betting sites right now, he's kind of like the front runner for comeback player of the year, which may be surprising to some people. I was surprised at first when I saw it, but you look at what's going on and you're right. Like you can't figure out who is he going to be year to year, right? Is he going to be healthy first of all? And then what Dak are you going to get? But if he throws the ball over 500 times, which he's done like half of his full season careers, like the times he's played full seasons, that's the guy you want. And so we're kind of on this wishy-washy. We're bound to get an upswing, I think, not just because of CD, but like you said, with Pickens being added in. So I'm kind of at this point where Fantasy Life has him ranked like quarterback 14 around like Drake May and Caleb Williams and Justin Fields, which are all guys that have their own question marks and their own offensive question marks. But you look at Dak, and he's one of those guys that has done it before. Like it wouldn't be surprising to me if he threw 4,500 yards and 30 or 35 touchdowns. Like he's done it. You know what I mean? So it's interesting to me to see him kind of falling around those guys that have bigger question marks, given the fact that he's proven it more than they have. So he's one that, man, like you said, it's really just what Dak are you going to get, but it's hard to fade him at this point. I mean, that's where I'm at, is just if I'm looking at that range of people in fantasy, the upside's so good. The upside's there.
Totally. And especially in like the super flex leagues, I notice because I'm in a super flex league. I'm not a huge fan of the super flex leagues where you get multiple quarterbacks starting, but he is such an important piece if you are in one of those leagues, because you're probably going to be able to get him late. And every year that like Dak, I think in 2023, I picked him up. I got CeeDee Lamb in round, it was either 1 or 2, very early in round 2. And people made fun of me for taking CeeDee Lamb. And then I paired him with Dak Prescott in 2023. And that essentially got me to the championship game. I didn't win. Okay. I didn't win. But that essentially pairing those guys, because you also have the stigma with fans that don't really follow the Dallas Cowboys that Dak isn't a good quarterback. Like a lot of people think that. You'll talk to the average football fan and they have this stigma that Dak isn't a good quarterback. There's also the stigma that he's a stat quarterback. And what do you want in fantasy? You want a stat quarterback, right? Oh, he's only going to put up stats in games that they're not going to win. So I think in a fantasy sense, if you could get him in a regular league with one quarterback, if you could get him, well, what are you thinking, Coots? What are you thinking? Where are you getting him?
He's like I said, he's ranked like QB 14. So I mean, if you're winning late on a quarterback and you're going like round 10 or something, that's not bad for a guy with that kind of upside. I mean, you think of the guys like Baker Mayfield that are going in that like second tier of quarterbacks. I'm not talking like the Josh Allens or the Lamar Jacksons, but right under that, you have Baker Mayfield that threw about 4,500 yards, maybe I think it was like 41 touchdowns last season. And everyone is super high on him. They're high on all of his weapons, no matter who it is. Like even when McMillan, before he got hurt, they're like, doesn't matter. He's the guy. We want a wide receiver 3 on this offense. But they're not treating the Cowboys the same way. And Dak, when he's healthy and when he's really slinging the ball, like I said, if he's throwing the ball over 500 times, he's just as good, if not better, statistically, as Baker in fantasy. And so you're not hearing them talk about like the wide receiver 3s on the Cowboys in the same way, which is interesting. But I think it's like you said, is there's this weird stigma with the Cowboys. And so I don't see, like, I'll be honest, and I'm going to be clear with you guys. I had not drafted him. And then before this podcast, I'm like looking through some things, trying to check it out. And I'm like, actually, I need to get some more of him on my teams, because if he has an up year, it could be like a QB5, QB6, QB7 year. So the upside's there for me. And it just trickles down to CD Pickens,
Well, can I ask one thing quickly here? And it has nothing to do with Cowboys at all. If you're sitting at pick 1 First overall pick. I'm just trying to get some info here. For myself.
Go for it.
If you're at pick 1, I want to know who you'd pick, and I want to know who you'd pick if you were at 12, because there's different strategies, right? And going the average, I think an average league's about 12 players or 12 teams, sorry.
Yeah.
So first overall pick, that's the most important one. And it's the hardest to do.
What kind of league are we talking here?
Your average, maybe a half PPR, just standard scoring, standard, one quarterback defense, special team.
So, man, I'm always a proponent of get your guy. If you wanted CD at 101, go for it. I would go with Chase just because the Bengals throw the ball so much year after year. It's consistent. They are going to pass the ball, and Chase is going to be the main benefactor. He's going to get it. So Chase would probably be my guy, but I wouldn't hate starting CeeDee Lamb. If you believe that Dak is going to have that kind of year this year, and that's where your heart is, go CeeDee Lamb. You know what I mean? I don't hate that either. But 12, that's where it gets tricky. If you're at the end of that first of all, home leagues are insane. I've seen some crazy stuff happen. So you could get some pretty good value at the 12th pick. But looking at ADP right now, you're probably talking about the Amon-Ra's, Puka Nakua's, Brian Thomas Jr., Ashton Genty, Derrick Henry. So that's where it gets a little tricky for me. Are you running back there or wide receiver? You go back to back. I don't hate if Matthew Stafford's healthy. I don't hate a Puka Brian Thomas start or a Puka Ashton Genty start. You know,
that'd be nice. I like that.
Yeah.
Puka Ashton Genty. So okay, and AJ, I know you had something to ask, but that Genty right away, that is nice.
No, I was. Maybe I did, but now I'm thinking. Now
you're thinking what you're gonna do.
Well, because I do have the number 1 pick in our
dynasty
draft.
tomorrow night, our dynasty draft. You have the first overall pick,
and I've ran the scenarios quite a few times, and I'm going. It's a dynasty draft that we're starting.
Yeah, starting. We've been in this league for
the best.
We've been in this league for 20 years. I'll just say 20 years because it's easy to say. But we kind of rehash the first 10 years was probably just regular snake draft. Then we did kind of dynasty, but it was I guess it was dynasty before, and then you'd keep 3 people. But we're refreshing it.
Keeper league.
Yeah, keeper. Sorry, it was keeper league. But now we're going full dynasty, so you don't keep anyone. You keep the guys you got, and you just pick. You do the rookie draft every year. So it's exciting to do, but I don't know if I'm game with it.
Are you doing just the rookie aspect, or are you doing a full as if you're starting fresh start?
Fresh start
this season.
Yeah.
It's tricky, right? Because a Genty moves up the board a little bit when you talk about running backs, even ahead of a Derrick Henry maybe, because you're not going to take a Derrick Henry in the first round to have him for a couple years where you could get a guy that has a chance to be on your team for the next 5.
Yeah,
exactly.
This is what I noticed, and whether or not this pans out, because like you mentioned, everyone has their guy, so there are either a positive or negative, holy, I'm shocked that this guy's sitting here because 3 people just picked their dude, or it's what the hell? The guy who I wanted in round 5 already went in round 3. Those scenarios are going to happen. Yeah. But with the first round pick, what I noticed is you get your dude. So for me, it'll be Chase. Dynasty as well, just his age and everything, and like you mentioned, the ceiling is just too high.
Did you just leak your pick?
I mean, it's obvious.
You just leaked your pick.
I get sniped.
Hey, I'll trade you my 10th pick for your first.
but then you're waiting 24, 23 picks, and that's kind of rough because you see all these dudes going. But what's really cool, I think, about the bookends, the 12 or the 1, is it almost makes your decision-making process a little bit easier because you take the guy who you want, and then you can take the pick that you should take, if it comes down to that. And so I've always hated, even though it might be statistically better, I don't know, being 4, 5, 6 in that range, because I feel you're always not your
bookend. You have to pick here.
Yeah, but bookends are in the end. But then, when you're in that middle range, I feel you're always getting the bottom player of the tier or the top player of the next tier. But you're always it just makes you feel overall the roster might be better or strong, seems stronger on average. It just feels a lot less I love this team. It's more this is the team that I drafted.
Yeah, and I would agree with you. When on those tail ends, like what is reaching at that point? Like I think that's what you're saying. Is like it doesn't matter if there's a guy you have to scroll 10 players down to get, but you have to wait 24. Get the dude you want. Like you're gonna have to wait.
Yeah, exactly. Like so I've been. I don't know. I'm going to probably run another 30 to 40 mock drafts tonight. We'll see.
And see what happens.
But the reality is, like, I think everyone can, like, you can plan as much as you want. And I think it's good to have players who you think, if I see them, okay, I know this guy is like a sleeper or whatever you want to name him. I name them gems. They're my gems.
So your gems. Okay, not a sleeper, you're a gem.
But realistically, like, after your first pick, I think it's kind of like, okay, the draft can change so much from what you thought it was going to be that you really got to kind of come in with an open slate, know who you want to get, but then just you got to be smart and look ahead to the next round and be like, do I have a chance of getting this guy, or is he going to get picked right before I want him? So,
well, another interesting thing, like how many leagues do you play in? How many leagues? Like,
I have to tell you guys.
Yeah, you have. Well, that you actually care about. Like, if you're like, I have to win this many leagues. Like, how many?
Man, there's like the home league is my near and dear. I could lose it every year. Like, if someone said you would lose this every year, I'd say I don't care. I'm going to stay in it because it's just we shit talk and it's just so much fun.
Yeah,
that one for me is like just camaraderie and good. So I don't have to win that one. There's probably 2 to 3 others that, man, it would feel good to brag about if I won, you know?
Mm-hmm. So you're at like 4 or 5?
More.
I used to be in the double digits. I cut it back a bit.
Wow. Interesting.
Yeah. I also cut it back. I was in 5 or so. And I felt like, for you, I understand because this is part of your work, so like, you know, it helps to just have your hands in the pot. But for me, I felt like it degraded my quality of watching football because I just didn't care about wins or losses. I just was starting to care about the 15 players that I had out.
And it gets to the point that you have every player in the NFL.
Yeah.
I find if you're in a bunch, like if you're in like at 8 or 9 or 10, it's like every time a player scores, it helps you somewhere.
Yeah.
For me, it's just Monday nights. That's when I tilt because that's when I know, okay, all I have is this prayer with this one guy. You know?
Yeah.
Looking at all your leagues, you're like, okay, I need this dude to do this tonight. I don't care about any other game. I just need this to happen. Yeah, I'm sitting at 5, and I find if I go more than that, I find when a team starts struggling, I just kind of abandon that league. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. Like, I don't want to, you know what I mean? I just don't want to be that type of guy that joins a league because there's a lot of dudes that take it seriously and then I just ghost it a little bit.
Yeah, I did. I did that to one league and I felt bad.
You felt like a piece of shit, didn't you?
Well, they found another person, obviously. And
so you got kicked out?
No, I was like, I just don't want to.
You quit? And
I didn't like the vibe of the league.
He adopted your team?
He just took my draft place. It was before the draft.
Oh, it was before draft.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, before
draft.
I was like, they were leading up to it, planning the day. I'm like, I just don't like being in this chat at all.
I looked at you differently for a second.
No.
If I'm going to abandon a team, I'm not letting anyone else take over it.
I would never have done that, but I should have. I felt I should have told them earlier.
No, you did.
It worked out.
Draft day, that's fine.
I have to play devil's advocate here because a lot of people look down on that. I respect it.
Same.
Because nobody wants that dude that doesn't give a shit.
Totally.
Like, that's what makes leagues fall apart. Like, I've been in too many, but I've been in some that have just imploded, fallen apart. The league chat, just like no one's talking. That's when you did them a service. You weren't going to be involved. I think it's a good thing. Granted, maybe you could have told them earlier, but it's better than taking it for a year.
As long as it wasn't on draft day that you pulled out, I think you did the right thing also. Get it in you, son. Crack him if you got him. That second one. Ooh, he's thirsty over here.
It's a hot day out here.
AJ, you wrote down on our padded paper here, and you just put 3 letters.
I put wide receivers.
Yeah, hell yeah, you did.
I want to pull up the rankings here from Fantasy Life there. We got Sedarius Lamb just below
number 2
Chase. Yeah, well, in the same tier there.
Okay, I'm liking this. I'm liking this. I'm liking this fantasylife.com.
So I don't know if you remember CeeDee Lamb his season 2 seasons ago. He got off to a little bit of a slow start, and then he exploded and had 1,700 yards and how many touchdowns it was, whatever. And that's kind of like, I don't know, the MO for CD and Dak. Like, let's get off to a nice slow start, and then let's have, if you would extrapolate our average over these the next 10 games, we would have had a record break, a 2,000-yard NFL season. But I digress. I'm sure you could say that about a couple people. But this makes sense. CeeDee Lamb number 2. Where do you have Pickens? Because he's the new recruit here in Dallas, and there's high expectations for a guy who hasn't really definitely showed a lot of promise in with the Steelers, but there was always his character, issues, and so new hope, and that's gone.
Too, no one is really talking about is like Pittsburgh was one of the lowest scoring teams in the league, like 2 out of the last 3 years.
Wow.
And in 2022, they were like tied 27th in points per game. 2023 it was tied 28th points per game. Like, they sucked. You know what I mean? Like,
bad quarterback.
He probably was bummed out. He probably was having character issues. So now you go to a team where they're gonna throw the ball a ton, and it has a shot at actually being worthy of a legit wide receiver 2 role. I mean, 12 touchdowns in the last 3 seasons with Pittsburgh isn't exciting, but if Dak can be Dak, like that, like we were saying, that 4,500, 35 touchdown guy, imagine, like, that's going to be so fun. I think you asked the question earlier, like in one of the show sheets, about like, are Lamb and Pickens the best fantasy like wide receiver duo combo in the NFL? I think they're in the top 3. Like, they're up there. I think you could argue it's Jamar Chase and T. Higgins.
Yep.
And you have the question marks of the next 3, which is either Brian Thomas and Travis Hunter, which you have the question mark of Travis Hunter. You have the question mark of that quarterback. You have Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams, which you, again, have the question mark, is Matthew Stafford going to be healthy, and Adams is aging. And you have your guys, right? You have Pickens and Lamb. And so it's primed. Like, I know we're looking at it through this half full lens of the best Dak that we can expect, but if it turns out to be that he's done it, like I said, full seasons where he's played the full seasons, wasn't injured, half the time he was doing like last year's Baker numbers, So it's very possible.
What do you?
I have him in my home league.
So you were talking about the teams that you rallied off there a little bit. What about the Eagles? Because you have AJ Brown and Devontae Smith. Like, are they up there a bit or no? Because I hope
they are. I think the Eagles, man, is the damn tush push, and then Saquon. They're gonna run the ball down people's throats, and they're gonna get a lot of touchdowns, like within the 5-yard line, are gonna be through the feet, through the legs. They're not gonna be tossing it to AJ Brown. So that's where that question. But he's still a solid wide receiver,
I just can never draft an Eagle player. I don't think I've drafted an Eagle player.
I could do Saquon.
Do you actually?
Saquon's and even Jalen Hurts. I try to do my best when I'm drafting. Not to be a homer. I try not to be a homer. I'm not gonna take the Cowboys if I don't think they're legitimately gonna be good. But if I think an Eagle's gonna help me win a championship,
oh yeah,
I'm gonna go for him.
Yeah, it's tough.
You got to separate it a bit. And I'll always say this: when the Cowboys are playing the Eagles, I hope whatever Eagle player I get has 0 points.
Sure. And
then that's how I get through it.
Yeah,
but I still want to win the championship with that player.
Oh my God! Can I tell you, like this, when I first got invited on here, I had this like ringing sensation, almost like when you're playing Call of Duty and they like flashbang you, of week 2 last season.
Oh my God.
When we beat the Cowboys, when the Saints beat the Cowboys, because for me at that time, I was like, oh shit, we are good. Like,
yes.
Holy shit, we are good. And obviously we lost like 7 in a row after. But what a wild time. Like, that must have been crazy for you guys as fans on the opposite end to be like the Saints, that had to be insane.
I'll tell you how it went. So we had a good victory versus the Browns in week 1. So it's like, okay, great.
And the Browns were a playoff team the prior season playoffs. So we're like, okay.
Yeah, it wasn't like coming out to play whatever.
It wasn't like, it didn't feel like beating the Browns. It felt like, the Browns were actually good.
Right.
And then the next week, Our saving grace when we lost to the Saints in week 2 was, well, the Saints put a beating in week 1 as well, so maybe
they must be good.
They must be good. Then they come out and have the stinker in week 3 and continue, and then we're looking at
we're like, oh my god,
oh, okay,
what are we in for? But it was pretty wild that Saints game. I talked a lot of shit leading up to that Saints game, and I ate a lot of humble pie.
So.
Humble pie.
Even as a Saints fan, I was like, okay, that first week was fun. That was exciting, but it's the Cowboys. We're not going to do it. And then when we did, I was like, oh my God, maybe we are a Super Bowl team. And that didn't play out.
Didn't play out too well.
Man, like, it's interesting too, because I don't know, like, are we rivals? I don't know. Like, I know the NFC South, we have our rivals and the Falcons and the Bucks, but there's something about Dallas fans that, like, I feel like every time I'm in the Dome and we play you guys, it's good, it's fun, it's great, but man, when we lose, for some reason, it hurts so much more than other losses. Like walking down the streets with all of your silver and blue just in the streets, it hurts, man.
I think Cowboys fans are this weird polarizing thing, because you do get, trust me, we deal with Cowboys fans just as much as every opposing team. Like I probably argue with more Cowboys fans online than any other team, right? So I could understand where other fan bases hate the Dallas Cowboys fans, but they're
not hate.
Well, dislike maybe.
It's just a weird vibe. Like, it's almost, I don't know what it is. It's just like, damn, yeah, like y'all did just kick our ass. It's not one of those where you walk out and you're like, okay, but if we would have just done this one thing, or if we would have just had, you're always just like, damn, this hurts.
Deflation.
Yeah.
Well, Tom Brady deflate game.
Well, after week 2, we almost drank bleach, so
yeah.
It was not fun.
I got a couple quick questions here before we let you go. If you just got
yeah, let's do it.
So first thing, just to kind of cover offense, because look, we were talking about the potential of the Cowboys having this great offense, and if I have to pick and choose when we're watching the game, at least let's get some points on the board. Let's have some exciting offense if our defense is going to stink. And so Cowboys signed Jake Ferguson to a 3-year deal, which to me was a little surprising, but I guess it makes sense when a contract runs up. Who else are you going to turn to? But my question about tight ends is, where are we slotting them in terms of like a wide receiver now? I know there's just the guys who are the big catchers. Help me out here.
Brock
Bowers, McBride.
Trey McBride and Kittle. That's like your elites.
Where would we be tiering them basically for like comparatively to wide receivers? Do you feel like?
Oh man, I mean, what's interesting is I'm very biased on Bowers. I love Bowers, but he essentially finished like a wide receiver last year. Like I think he was within. I think I comped him to CeeDee Lamb actually on his like receiving yards. I think they might have been the same receiving yards last year, and he's got a ton of catches. You know what I mean? He's like top 5 on all these different metrics as a tight end. That's pretty rare. Like the rest, when you're looking at a tight end position, if you aren't going for the Brock Bauer, McBride, Kittles of the world, you may as well just wait. Like there's a stat that somebody like crunched the numbers, and I think like after the tight end 7 or tight end 8, that it just doesn't matter anymore. Like last year, there was a less than 2 points per game difference between the tight end 11 and the tight end 24. Like it just doesn't matter anymore. You know what I mean? So you might as well, if you're gonna wait late and go for a guy that you think has a shot, like a Hunter Henry, super late. He had a career year with Drake May. If he can do that again, cool. You know what I mean? Like. But otherwise, go for those top 3. And if you don't feel comfy doing it that early, at that point, just go for guys that you think have a shot,
Should I draft Kyle Pitts?
Oh, man.
That's a
We were just talking about Pitts on a show today. He is so funny because people are burned because they drafted him so early in all these years and he just hasn't performed. And so it would be hilarious if he had an incredible season. But it ties back to that idea of like outside of the top few, it just doesn't matter anymore. So if you think that like he does have a connection with Michael Penix, which they say they're going to play golf all the time, and he says he's going to get him the ball more. If you believe in it, he's going late enough that like it doesn't matter. Yeah, sure, take him.
I can't do it. I can't take it. I took him early last year. I was like, this is his year. This is his year.
Yep, and that's why he's fallen. So yeah.
If he somehow lasts to like a later round,
Mm-hmm.
sure,
Someone's going to take a flyer.
yeah.
Someone that hasn't been bit, like everyone's going to be like, "Whoa,
Yep.
I'm seeing all this stuff. I may as well take a pick on him." But I agree with that. Like if you don't get that top tier of tight ends, can you almost? I know it's tough with tight ends, but you can almost streamline them a little bit. Like
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You can kind of just. I've done it in years past where there's been like you got the top few. I've kind of when like the Gronk days, and I didn't get any of the big guys. I would just kind of like look for matchups and hope because it was like, well, I'm either gonna get 5 points from my tight end, or maybe I luck out and get a guy that catches 2 touchdowns in this 1 week.
Yeah.
So
So at that point, you're looking at like, do I want a rookie like Tyler Warren, who's on the Colts, who have nothing else to throw to, and I'll at least get some points in PPR, or like a Tucker Kraft who had some good weeks with Jordan Love, or Njoku, who at least on the Browns should get something. You know what I mean? Like they all have upside in their own ways. It really just comes, if you miss on those top 3, it just comes down to like, who do you believe could have a year? Do you think Kelsey's going to have a resurgence? Because last year was like just bottom of the barrel for all his stats compared to what he's been doing. So like, do you think he'll have positive regression? Like it just depends on how you feel about it.
I mean, no, he's getting
the ring year.
engaged.
The ring year.
He's done with the NFL. He's got enough rings now.
I mean, but is he going to finish off his 13th season with a Super Bowl? You know, I don't know.
He looked so bad last year.
It was not a good year.
He was a shell of himself.
I felt
Yeah.
though.
It's that stupid haircut he got, the shaving the sides. I don't know. It just he looked funny to me last year. It wasn't Travis Kelce.
I felt like the whole Chiefs. Obviously, they're a great team, but it felt like they had lost a step just watching the games. They still pulled off whatever it was, 10 or 11 wins or
I
something
think even
like that.
more than that. They might have even
Yeah.
won 13 or 14.
But a lot of
I
those
can't
games,
remember,
I was like, oh, how did they win that? Oh,
Yep.
yeah, Patrick Mahomes.
yeah, close games. Close games. Well, that's it.
I got
Yeah, go for it. Let me get one of these in here, though. Let me get one of these. Crack me if you got them, son.
I guess that, you know what? The last thing I kind of want to know is your top 3, or give us as many as you want, but top 3 sleepers, top 3 stay the fuck away from these guys.
Ooh.
Like, you'd be extremely mad if, like, the person beside you, if you were in a room, drafted them just before you were going to get them in, like, the 10th round.
Okay. I'm avoiding. I don't want drama on my team this year, so I'm not going for like Tyreek Hill. I haven't been drafting Tyreek. Sleepers, I don't know if you can consider him a sleeper anymore. Egbuka was at the time, but Ollie Gordon, the running back from Miami, just in case Achane doesn't stay healthy, he had a great preseason. I'm talking like some deeper sleepers, like late round stuff.
Ollie Gordon's good.
We got
so
a
the guy,
25-round league.
Yeah.
So
Okay, so these aren't sleepers.
no,
for you
and
guys.
the guy that's usually sitting BW1, if you said Ollie Gordon, he would have just looked at us with a smile like he just broke the code because he's a huge Ollie Gordon fan. So that's a good one because he, especially his size, like he could eat up goal line carries.
yeah,
Yes.
and age is just so just that injury risk, man.
Yes. Another one is Isaac Tesla, the wide receiver now for the Lions. He's a rookie.
Yeah, he's like 6'5".
He's had a great preseason. I know, like he has a lot of competition. They're throwing the ball to a lot of other people, but man, like somebody said, like, what if it's this year's Puka? And I'm like, you know what? I'm in. I'm all in on that. So I have him. I got him like last round in a couple leagues. Pat Bryant is another one to look at on Denver. If you're into like Bo Nix and you think high on that offense. Torrey Horton for Seattle is another wide receiver to look at. He had a good preseason. I think he might be banged up a little bit, but he had a good preseason. A lot of buzz for him. Yeah, guys like that, man. It's just so fun. And like, for you guys, y'all tell me this. Should I be looking at Jaden Blue?
Yes.
Like what's going on with Blue?
Yes. As a sleeper, like someone that you could maybe stash, like I was in a dynasty league, and my second pick in my dynasty league, I took Jaden Blue because I'm like, you know what? Maybe he doesn't do this year, but I believe he's got that speed in the NFL. He's bigger than you think. And you've seen him in the little bit of preseason. Granted, it's against the 3s and 4s, but speed translates nicely in the NFL. So I don't know, maybe in a regular league, you might be able to get him later on in the season, but if it's at the end of the draft, why not take a flyer at him?
Right. Especially if like you don't believe in Javonte Williams, right? Like if you think he's not the guy or he's not going to be what he could be. I could see it.
I think also where Blue will be able to fit in is depending on Sanders' ability to stay on the field, and I think he's already like limping into the season as as we're heading in. That's where I think I think they'll get him a chance to run with the ball, but he may be more. They may test him more and use him more as a passing back. Who knows? We're gonna find out. Because that's never really been a big part of the Dallas Cowboys game, is running screens and shit. So
they definitely have gone away from it in the last few years.
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah, right.
Zeke's
But maybe
earlier
with-
days a little bit, they kind of had it. Even DeMarco Murray would take some screen stuff, but I'd say definitely the last few years, it's been almost last year there was no screen game.
I've been taking Blue once I have like 3 running backs that I'm comfortable with.
That's why he's a sleeper, babe.
Yeah, and he's going, but like I would reach for him in some of my mocks just because I'm like,
Why not?
First of all, hometown boy, I need to bring him on.
You got to be a little bit homerism. I said we're not homers, but you got later in the round.
I think he just has a potential of a high ceiling if he connects with Dak and those two, and also has a pretty good running game. Then you could probably see some good numbers out of him, especially if there's any injuries. He's the only back that's good to go. Then he's going to get the ball.
Yep. Okay. So here's my promise to you guys. My next draft, I'm going to try to get Dak. Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Hey, nice.
Yes, we love it.
Yeah, reach for it a little bit. Like, who cares? It's just.
I don't know about that.
Okay,
but I'm gonna try to
hopefully he falls. He will fall. People hate drafting Cowboys. They do.
They do.
And it works very well for Cowboys fans in these seasons that the Cowboys end up being good. But when it's a year like last year, people laugh at you.
Cooter Doodle, thanks for coming and hanging out with us here. Do you want to just let everyone know where they can find you? And
you can find me on X at Cooter, and then I write for fantasylife.com. You can check out some more of my favorite sleepers there. And thank you guys for having me. This was fun.
Yeah, this was fun. We appreciate it. I hope much success in the fantasy world, because we all know as football fans, you're a diehard Saints fan, we're diehard Cowboys fans. The only thing worse in life is when your fantasy team gets their asses handed to you, or like say you're in 5 leagues or whatever, all of them lose and your team loses. It's like, well, I don't think I'm going to watch football next week. So we appreciate having you on. Hope to have you on again for some fantasy talk later on in the season.
Sounds great. I'll see you guys later.
Yeah, you bet.
Thanks.
See ya.
Cheers.
Bye.
I need to figure out what I have to click here, AJ.
Click main. There we go.
Whoa, there it is.
The boys are back. Hey, we don't do it often. We did a little bit of fantasy talk. We did a little, and for everyone who's out there right now, go ahead and just message us on any of the social medias, whether that be X or Insta, whatever, at Cowboys CanFan. Our draft is live. When the hell is our draft live, Anth? Do you remember?
Tomorrow, 8 p.m.
No, our
DWAC
CanFan.
one. Oh, fuck, I don't know. September 2nd.
September 2nd at 6 p.m. PST. So that's 9 p.m. EST. If you want to join the league, go ahead and shoot us your emails. What we're going to be
I do have someone. They called me yesterday.
Yeah. And I know there's another, whoever it was out in.
We got a couple people.
Yeah. So we're going to be adding you. For the guys who were in the league last year, if you're hearing this, go ahead and message me if you still want in. Otherwise,
Oh, yeah, he was in it.
Okay,
he was in it last year.
I'm gonna reach out, but if we don't hear back from you shortly, then I'm clean slating and we're filling roster slots.
Because I told him I was gonna tell. Yeah, he called me yesterday. He's like, hey man, like what's going on with the fantasy league? So he's in.
Okay,
he's in, and he's been in since every year.
Or was it like this? What is going on with fantasy league?
If you don't invite me again, I'm going to kidnap you and cut off your penis.
I'm biggest fan in all of Russia for Dallas Cowboy.
Oh, I wonder who is the biggest fan in Russia.
We know we love Jerry Jones.
Jelly.
Hey, man.
Lots of shit happening today.
Dallas Cowboys. Well, actually, you know what? Let's talk about it right away.
Do we want to talk about the drama, or do we want to talk about?
Let's get the drama out of the way.
Get the drama out of the way.
Get the drama out of the way.
So,
Micah.
Is it the Micah airport?
That's what I was thinking. What, you have some more drama?
No, that's kind of what I mean. That's kind of the gist of it. The Micah here. Let me bring that up. Get that over there. We'll bring that up. Get it on the screen. And then I hit, comp big screen, is that, oops, behind baseball. And okay, here we go. So Micah Parsons was spotted at DFW airport boarding a flight. Without any context to this, and it says do not touch items until this point, and they have an arrow. It looks like it's pointing at that guy's ass.
Yeah, I know.
Looks like
perfect placement.
Perfect placement to point at that guy's ass. But what do you make of this? Because he's flying somewhere. Is he just going on vacation for a couple days? Or is he going to a team to see if he's getting traded?
Okay, well, you tell me this. What makes sense? We got a game on Thursday, September 4th, which means I'm sure they're calling everyone to come get prepared on Monday, right? Or do they? No, yeah, it would be Monday. They would come in. Actually, Tuesday, they'd probably call guys in that they have to come in. League rules.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
To prep for the game. Tuesday, Wednesday, then you got your game on Thursday. Because Monday would technically not be the start of the week. I don't know if that happens in week 1, but just saying. So what I'm getting at is from now until then, there are a couple days off. Micah can do whatever he wants. Maybe he's going to go visit some family members. Maybe he's going to go just check out some scenery up at Niagara Falls near Canada's border. I don't know.
Possibly.
But you can make what you want out of this. I'm not going to start spinning theories because every time I do that, I get on a depression train.
Mike is flying to Russia.
But I mean, which other Dallas Cowboys players took a flight? That's what I want to know. And if none of them did and they all stayed in the AT&T Stadium and had a little campfire with Jerry Jones singing campfire songs, okay, now there's a problem. But let's be honest, we already know there is an issue. We already know Micah and Jerry Jones, whether or not they had an agreement or whose side of the story you believe, it doesn't matter. Things have unraveled quite unpleasantly since that point.
Well, pull up the Jane Slater, because Jane Slater, beat writer for the Dallas Cowboys, works on NFL Network, but she has a lot of inside information, and this is what makes me worried, AJ. I know that might be a little long-winded, but
no, and you know what?
This is what makes me a bit worried about the flight pick.
I just want to say, I didn't read the name when you sent this. I thought it looks like someone just made... I wasn't thinking you made notes. I thought someone made notes about something and then shared it. And then I read the name.
So this is what makes me a bit nervous.
Exactly. When I first read... No, but when I first read it, I didn't see it was by Jane Slater. So I was like...
You thought it was the person that took a picture.
Yeah, and
some random Joe at DFW.
And the way it was written, I was like, what? Because she kind of like... writing in kind of short form. And then when I saw the name, I was like, okay, this might hold some gusto. But you want me to hit it? Jane Ashley Slater says, I'm told Micah Parsons was spotted at DFW around 10:30 this morning. Cowboys off until Friday. Headed to Cabo? No. Or Cowboys off until Friday. Second opinion for his back, according to 2 sources informed. So he's going to go get a second opinion on his back. Some updates, a big trade rumor circling. I can't get anyone to confirm or deny. There is interest. There is interest, which is very interesting to me. Everyone moving a little differently in the last 48 hours. Was the training table incident a final straw? I don't know. I know it irritated a lot of folks. So I'm going to pause there.
That's that first. The Micah Parsons sitting on the training table. They're saying it irritated folks. And this is what I saw. So I saw 2 things. People were like, it was just for a second. It wasn't like he was sleeping. Blah. And I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. But then I did see a post from Mike Fisher. And Mike Fisher made a good point. He's like, I don't care. No matter at any point as an NFL player, you shouldn't lay down on a bench like that. And I kind of see that point of view a little bit.
I don't even know what the big hula was. Like, what? I saw him laying down,
just
but
like disinterested.
What do you expect? Personally, I don't give a shit about Mike has asked for a trade at this point. That's the last thing that he said. So, like, what do we expect him to be? Happy-go-lucky? Like, he played his part. True. He tried to do it. And the turning point to me was when Jerry started to go in attacking players. I'm not saying Jerry was wrong in that. In what are you doing?
Stephen White just said farmer stand. I was going to bust it out for a second.
Look at that's like perfect gradient into your arm. Well, I couldn't do this better in Photoshop.
It's like you wear different length shirts occasionally.
Oh yeah.
So I think it just like burns and unburns.
Yeah, this year. but no, like
definitely a farmer's dad.
So Mike is pissed off. I think Jerry pissed off Micah when he started to go off and started kind of attacking guys publicly. What he said, again, it's not that what he said was wrong, but it was just maybe the wrong moment, the wrong time. Bite your tongue. You don't need to expose that type of shit to the media or the fans. We do not contribute to signing players as much as we would love to, and maybe it should be handed over to the fans to do so. But I don't take a lot away from him laying on the table. Maybe I didn't see enough, though.
Stephen White makes a good point, and this just came out today. Micah put in a grievance because when they have him as for the franchise tag, it was as a defensive end, which is $21 million, but as a linebacker, it would be $24 million. So Micah's agent and Micah put in a grievance against his contract right now, saying, hey, if I am going to get franchise tagged, I should be as a linebacker, not a defensive end. Which he has been listed as.
But like
just a little bit more that's a little more to Salt Bay onto the convo.
I mean, I don't know how they'd work it now, but all I would do if I was the Cowboys is I'd show his snap count.
Yeah, that's all you'd have to do. Yeah,
he's not a linebacker.
He's not a linebacker. He's a defensive end or edge rusher.
But hey,
edgelord.
And it doesn't work out because guys get drafted who played quarterbacks get drafted and turned into wide receivers. It really doesn't matter what you get drafted as. Like, you don't get to hang on to that. Oh, okay, I'm going to get drafted as a quarterback but play linebacker.
But they did but the Cowboys used it the last few years so that they could keep more defensive ends. They put him as a linebacker. So the Cowboys were kind were kind of playing the system a little bit.
Yes, and all teams do that, but you know, we're talking about $3 million. Again, if I was Jerry Jones, I'd say just fucking give him the $3 million. Okay, so we won't go ahead and sign another random defensive tackle this season and end up paying him whatever, $1.5 million. Like, at some point, the money needs to be, just give it to the guy. But anyways, we'll see what the grievance.
Well, Bandwagon Bob is kind of saying what you're saying. It's getting to a point where Jerry is thinking, no way I'm listening to a player.
You know, here's the problem when you get into these scenarios, because we're sitting back here and whatever they're arguing about, or whatever agreement that Jerry Jones believed that he had with Micah, and I can understand that. But it's like if I go and talk to you, Anth.
Well, hello.
You know, and you have an agent, and we agree on something.
How funny would it be if we had agents?
Well, and then... But
that's
then
a skit right there.
But then
Adam's both our agents.
Yeah. And his own.
and his own.
No, we're his. Yeah. But, you know, like, it's obvious to me that the agent is going to be a little upset if you circumvent a conversation, bringing him in, where his job is to look out for the best interest of the player. It's like, sure, I could go down and con an old lady into giving me, you know, $1,000, but because because we agreed. But then when I go to pick it up from the bank, they're like, no, we're not just going to give you $1,000
because some old lady said.
Because old lady said, it's like, yeah, there are systems in place that are there now. What it all comes down to, though, like Bandwagon Bob said, is Jerry is not listening to players, or he's just like wanting to do things old school way, which I totally get. And sometimes that is the best way, but it might not work now. Not in this type of media, and not where players are getting like more bold. It feels like, right? They have more weight now,
and they're making more. They're making money off the field. But let's finish this. Jane Slater.
Oh yeah. Good. I'm just ranting now. But this has definitely had more twists and turns than the normal exhaustive extension process. Current scenarios are Cowboys keep him. He's under contract, misses games to the tune of a little over $1 million a week, dear Lord. Tag and trade end of season. Number 2, let bygones be bygones, meet in the middle, secure an extension for some cap flex, and remove distracting headlines. Preferred. Number 3, trade a generational haul, likely a pair of first-rounders to start. Cowboys move forward with rookie D-Easy, and essentially concede they are rebuilding.
So pause there. So those 3 situations, Cowboys keep him. You know, he does the Emmitt Smith, misses a couple games. Oh, sorry, this one, sorry. Cowboys keep him. He misses games, and they trade him at the end of the season.
Right. I like the one that you did, too. Another, a 1B could be misses a couple games, then gets...
that's kind of what I want. But out of these 3, like, which one would you pick right now?
Well, it's number 2.
Yeah.
It's number 2.
It's got to be. But maybe,
But Gene does wrap it up here with a little bit of a... where I'm okay with a trade. If the guy's not going to play, if his heart's not there, if it's really that sour, then yeah, trade him. Let's get some value. Let's not fucking beat around the bush. Take your whips for people saying you're the stupidest fucking team in the world, because it's going to happen if you do that. And just hope to hell that you at least get a player who's going to play the season in that trade, and then that you make some good picks with those draft picks. Do not get another Michigan defensive tackle.
Imagine you trade Mozzie Smith away and you end up drafting and a Mozzie Smith or like just someone that just fizzles out or doesn't even start. Well, doesn't even have a chance to fizzle out. That's the scary part.
That's 3 is only continue and 3 is fun. Like, sure, Micah Parsons fun to watch, but 3 is fun if you remove the idea that we lose
next offseason would be fun
for
us
saying.
At least.
Oh, 2 first-round picks over the next 2 years, maybe even throw in another, I don't know, a third or so in that mix. That is kind of a fun scenario, depending who they trade it to, if it's a higher pick. But here's the kicker. From Jane. When is the last time Cowboys truly reset? Herschel Walker season. Wasn't pretty, but got you to the promised land eventually. At this point, everything feels on the table now. Stunning posture on both sides.
Oh, yeah, they're both posturing.
TBH.
They're both posturing, and Bandwagon Baba makes a good point. Trade to his shit team so we can get a good first-round pick.
Oh, well, that's the thing. Like,
you got to trade it to the team that, like, trade to, and that's the issue. You hear a lot of the Green Bay Russ like that. I think Green Bay's been the highest linked team to the Micah Parsons thing, and they're fighting to be a playoff team. That's why they're trying to trade for him, right?
Well, it's true. The other side of it, though, is a lot of the times you hear those rumors, and then a team just comes out of nowhere
and just snipes
them. So, like, I think any team out there is would have a package that they would be willing to trade for Micah. Whether or not the Cowboys are willing to take it is another story. At the end of the day, if this is where it is at the point where it's like a standoff between these two powerhouses, Micah Parsons being like, a presence in the NFL and a pillar in the Dallas Cowboys organization, and then Jerry Jones, who is just like old school, hard-nosed, done this a million times. Who's going to fold first in that scenario is really what matters. And if Micah doesn't, there is a good chance that he may sit out a lengthy period of this season, if not the entire season. If that happens, at which weekend do you let it go?
I think it depends. It depends on win-loss. Okay, so let's say
it depends on who shows up.
You win 2 games. You crack me if you got him. Definitely, if you win 2 games, you crack me if you got him. But you lose 2 games, the urgency gets a little bit more realistic, and it falls back on. You're really going to see how the Cowboys front office views this season. If they lose 2 games and they still don't rush to sign him, they're like, okay. They're all in, right? Like, they're all in, as not the fact to win, but all in on just letting it ride out.
Yeah.
They're like, okay, because, again, if Micah sits out 17 games, he's going to lose $17 million. What's he going to do? So let's put it this way. If that's the route the Cowboys went, and then they franchise tagged him and then just let him do it again.
Yeah, but then
loses $34 million over 2 years, doesn't play football.
I don't think it's realistic that you would franchise a guy because that still comes off the cap, and it's
you're just gonna, you're right. You're gonna try to get rid of him.
But then at that point you'd franchise, trade, and then you have to trade with a team who's going to probably sign him to the deal that he's looking for, or the deal that he originally wanted. Which might be exploded by now.
So JNY Blue saying trade at minimum 2 first-rounders, a second and a fourth. I even want more, man. For me to be happy about losing Micah,
that and a player.
Give me, that and a player would help. Like if it's an instant starter player, but for me, and this is just me personally, right? Because I don't want to get rid of Micah Parsons. I don't. I want to see him as a Dallas Cowboy.
No, but if
if I had to, I want to be like, okay, I can deal with it. I'd want a first round next in 2026, a first round in 2027. A second round in 2026, a second round in 2027, a fourth round, and then even a player. Is that unreasonable? Maybe, but that's just what would make me feel not as shitty about losing a guy to me that's done a lot of stuff that a lot of players that have played in the NFL have never had the opportunity to do. So I want Micah.
And the player who I would want to pick up, obviously, if there was, like, without knowing names, like just position-wise, a cornerback would be really nice.
Defensive tackle.
Defensive tackle would be great.
Doesn't even have to be. It just has to be a guy that can start and stop the run a little bit.
Yeah, like who's that fucking guy? Oscar Stewart or something like
Just
that.
anyone that can get in there and do the damn thing.
But there you go. That's the
where
drama.
we are. So we did the drama. We did the drama. We got to dive into the biggest news of the week. The Dallas Cowboys have, for the first time, put out a 53-man roster. I don't know how you want to go about this. Do you want to talk about the guys that got cut? Do you want to talk about who's on the roster? How do you want to go about this?
I'm going to pull up the cuts, and then that'll lead us into looking at the roster.
So we're going to take a look at everyone that was waived or cut from the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, hang on. This might not be an up-to-date list.
That looks pretty good.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
okay, let's get that.
And this is from
DallasCowboys.com.
no other than Patrick
No-See Walker doing this thing.
Okay.
You imagine these guys, this is one of their busiest days of the year.
Oh.
Cut day, like yesterday, cut day, and scroll up for a sec.
Yep.
It starts off with who other than a guy that we probably thought shouldn't have been on the team the last 2 seasons.
You know what? Again,
Do you feel a little bit bad for us hating him so much?
now that's finally happening.
Now that he's cut, I kind of feel bad a little bit.
But not really, because it was never about hating Deuce Vaughn, and he did impress in certain moments, but for whatever reason, the Cowboys never utilized him, and he may have the talent to do so, but the Cowboys aren't going to use him in the way that he needs to be, and that's why I'm like, I would trade what Deuce's high ceiling is for the potential of big body Phil Maffa. Like
Any day of the week.
You know what I mean? Like
Any day of
just
the
the
week.
size is just like that's what we need. We don't need another small guy who can run around and catch a football. We need the Cowboys have been missing a bruiser, and Maffa may not be that guy, but he's damn well closer than
the reason when he got drafted, we made such a big deal about it because I hate to say it, but size in the NFL does matter. It does. That's why you're not seeing. That's why a guy like Darren Sproles is so electric and so rare because it just doesn't happen. Deuce Vaughn did everything possible. For him to even make the NFL is a fucking feat, right? To have an amazing college career is an amazing job. But once you're at the NFL, you're in the top echelon of human beings.
Yeah.
Guys that are
They're the
fastest, biggest, tallest, strongest. And then so you put a guy that has a size advantage. You need this extra thing, and not a lot of guys that size can do it. And it was stacked against him. Granted, there was a lot of pressure piled up on him anyways with the story background, like the fact that his dad was a head scout for the Dallas Cowboys. A lot of people were really vying for him because it was a very good storyline, but I just never really saw it happening. Did I want it to happen? Yeah, because when he had a couple good preseason runs, I was jacked up.
Yeah, he did. He had some good runs out there, but for whatever reason, like I said, it just didn't trickle into the season at all.
He gone.
And
they didn't even, I'm going to spoiler alert, they didn't even bring back on the practice squad.
Really? Yeah. Well, hey, we did get a trade here. Awesome Richards.
To the Saints.
To the Saints. Hey, Cooter Duel. Hopefully you enjoy them.
To the Saints.
I always liked Awesome Richards. It might be the name that really stuck with me, but
the
obviously,
double awesome.
And surprising for me was that he was an offensive tackle, and so the guys who they did keep they must enjoy because the first guy released actually was Lael Collins.
Yeah, which I found interesting.
And
I really did. I found that interesting. They brought him on just to cut him like 10, 15 days later.
Let's just...
A lot of offensive line gone.
The other side, we're going to just go down the list. I'm not even going to say the guys' names.
Yeah,
we
just
don't really know.
pick up names like...
Israel Mukuamu.
So I thought had a good preseason. I really did. I thought Mukuamu had a good preseason. I thought he had a really good chance of making the team. I was surprised. I'd even texted in the group chat that I was surprised Izzy was gone. So that's one... Wasn't expecting. Not because he's been super good, but because I thought he did enough to be your 6th or 5th cornerback. And
I just didn't see... Yeah, there were... I thought he had a pretty good preseason. Like, he played a lot.
Played, I think, almost every... Seemed like every snap.
It seemed like... For whatever reason, the Cowboys decided not to bring him back. So long, I really liked Israel, especially his name. Figure out how to say Mukuamu, which was pretty cool, but...
It's always fun. As soon as we learned how to say his name, they got rid of him.
Yeah, CJ Goodwin, nothing to say there. He had a couple games, had a cup of coffee with the Cowboys. Will Greer gone?
He'll be back though. They need, or unless they sign someone else, but you need 3 quarterbacks, right?
So those are the release.
That's released. Yep.
So now we go down to the wave, like you mentioned.
Deuce cleared waivers. I checked today.
Okay,
Saw if anyone picked them up. No one picked them up. I'm wondering because looking down this list and with the practice squad, I wonder if some of the guys we didn't put on the practice squad is because they got picked up by other teams.
Well, we can go.
So there's So this is the waived.
So Tommy Akinbisote was our 7th round draft pick or something.
No,
like
that was. I thought that was Jade Toye. Maybe this guy was. I fucking couldn't even tell you.
No, Jay was like 6th. Anyways,
let me
I
Google
thought,
him.
Yeah, look him up. I think he was a late round draft pick, but anyways, Cowboys decided to cut him. I think it's just a matter of we can only have 5 defensive tackles on the team. Josh Kelly had a couple nice catches, wide receiver.
Cowboys in the 7th round, AJ.
Yeah. Trayshawn Holden. And now he got brought back to the practice squad, I believe. But Trayshawn Holden, undrafted free agent this year, had a couple, wearing number 7, didn't like that, had a couple nice catches.
It throws you off, doesn't it, when they're wearing...
I don't like the single digits. I'm not used to it yet. Give me time for wide receivers. Jalen Cropper and Jalen Brooks waived. Brooks did come back to the practice squad. Tight ends, finally, I think... I mean, I'm really high on the rise of Bevan Spanford because Princeton Fant, who was on the team for quite some time, he's that big shithouse, right?
Yeah, he's jacked.
John Stevens Jr., who just couldn't get on the field, had some really promising last couple of years, at least in terms of like preseason or practice.
And then tore his ACL.
Both years. And then Rivaldo Fairweather, who in Game 3 we were talking about a Fairweather friend, but they all got cut.
Had a touchdown week 1 preseason.
Yeah. Troy Pride, Elijah Clark was the one dude who was showing up on our screen when we were like, who the hell is that?
Not Damone?
Not Damone. And so, and Tyrese Wheat. I also thought Tyrese Wheat had a pretty good
You're just going to go glaze over our guy Malik?
Malik Davis, I'm sorry. Malik Davis coming in, just being consistent with how he's always been since we saw him come into the NFL, whatever it was, 3 years ago. But he still gets on the waivers. And Tyrese Wheat, too many guys. There's too many cooks in the kitchen for
the last spot you want to be trying to make this team is a defensive end. But that says a lot to a guy because we'll end up looking at the active roster, the 53-man roster. But James Houston, like, congrats to that guy.
Yeah.
To make this team with that stacked of a defensive end room.
Absolutely.
You got to tip your hat.
Let's get this 53-man roster. And this is... Again, Patrick Nosey, you know how he does it.
There they are. Dak breaking them down. You guys did it. You made it. It's like Fear Factor.
No, get into the Diddy oil pool.
Get in that baby oil. What? Dak? What? Maybe I wish I was cut. Maybe I wish I was cut.
We're just scrolling down.
So this is the reserves PUP. You got Phil Maffa, who was kind of surprised that he got knocked over there. I feel like they're doing a little sneak with Phil Maffa going on to the injury reserve. Yep. But DeMarvion Overshown, Jonathan Mingo, Siobhan Revel, the 3rd-round pick, Josh Butler, Kalen Carson. A lot of good players on that IR, PUP, NFI list. But let's start it off, AJ. Quarterbacks, Dak Prescott, Joe Milton. And Milton had that savior of a Week 3 preseason game where we were ready for the piss missile count. I don't think we got one. I think we've reached on maybe one.
We reached on one, but like...
No true ones.
Not like what we saw in weeks 1 and 2.
Yeah, he looked a lot better. He used his legs a little bit, got comfortable, made the throws when he needed to.
Nice touch passes.
Had a touchdown run, had a touchdown pass. Still not the greatest accuracy, like his I think he was only like 55%, but... Still, he made me feel a little bit better that there is something there.
He played... What I liked was... After you brought up the piss missiles, that's when I started noticing it. And then right in week 3, he started to kind of touch them in there. And I think it's like he realized, holy shit, I'm a big, strong bear of a man. I don't need to... I can throw this at like 25%.
And it's still going to be accurate.
It's going to get there. So that's great to see. Definitely, I mean, I hope we don't see him in the season at all. But if he does end up coming into a game, okay, I feel a little bit more confident. it's going to need to have to actually play out, though. Offensive tackles. Tyler Guyton, Terrence Steele, obviously. Nate Thomas, Johnny Cornelius, great last name, and Hakeem Adeniji.
I like that they said offensive tackle and put 4, yet they listed 5.
Hey, always keep you thinking. Always keep you thinking.
Anything surprising here? Maybe
No.
the Awesome Richard trade.
Awesome Richards, but like he just, I'm just throwing him in there with the same as Nate Thomas. You know, like a guy who could be on an NFL team, but is not a starter, and is more than likely a high-ranked tier 3 guy.
Yep.
That if you need him to come and step in, he's going to be adequate, but he's not going to compete against a true number 2, really. At the end of the day, kind of like Willetsko. Like when Willetsko could stay on the field, he was serviceable, but he wasn't competing for like a true number 2 slot there. Offensive line interior. Now
that looks. Look at those top. Actually, this is probably one of our strongest.
This looks good.
Positional groups. The interior offensive line.
Yeah, Tyler Smith, Cooper Beebe, Tyler Booker. Those are your starters. Followed up by TJ Bass and Brock Hoffman, who I believe is going to play the combo center guard if need be.
You got this is the thing with Tyler Smith, Cooper Beebe, or Tyler Booker. If any of those guys goes out, you at least have somebody that can step in and be serviceable. That's nice. That's a nice looking 5 group.
What I like, and it's the same with Madden, when I have a backup, I like to just keep them around because I know what I got with you, and I'm not willing to take that position of that protection. Like, I need a guy who's going to come in and we know what we got. I'm not willing to trade that for like a higher ceiling potential, but then I don't really know what I got. You know what I mean? Like, that's what we got with TJ Bass, Brock Hoffman. For me, those are like, right, if they weren't last year, now they are Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, totally.
You know what I mean? Like, they're not just a guy on the team.
They're there.
They're there. And they are now the official, backups.
It's a nice group of 5 there. Tyler Smith, Cooper Beebe, Tyler Booker, TJ Bass, and Brock Hoffman. And then the one and only
fullback, yeah. So
Lepke, baby.
We had this conversation, and we were always saying the Cowboys are going to keep 4 running backs, including 5, including the fullback. 4 running backs, and we always considered Hunter Lepke on the team. There was never a question of that.
Never.
But with the running backs, is this again? They labeled 4,
and I wonder if they're talking. Yeah, they don't know how to count.
Look, Patrick, no shade. It's your editor. We blame you.
Patrick, no count. Got him.
You got him, Zinger. Running backs, though.
This is what I preached. This is what I preached.
Yep.
Ad was coming at me with the full Maffa.
What did he say? Oh, yeah, Maffa.
He thought Miles Sanders was going to make the squad, and I was just saying Miles Sanders, just the reps that he took in preseason. And we don't know. Maybe Phil Maffa does end up supplanting Miles Sanders, but I kind of felt... We felt,
yeah.
I'd even say Adam, like we all kind of felt this was going to be the pecking order. And I don't know if this is like looking at the pecking order, but we knew these 3 guys were going to be on the first 53-man roster.
No, it makes sense. You go out and you sign Williams and Sanders, and unless one of those guys do something, like they are definitely in a fantasy football looking perspective, the higher ranked player over Blue and Maffa, just because you don't know what you got with Blue and Maffa. Blue's ceiling, I think, is much higher. But what I think is going to happen is they're going to test out between Blue and Sanders who's going to be our number 2, and once they figure that out,
you're not going to see much of the other one.
You're not going to see much of the other guy, and then by that point, okay, now we can bring in Maffa and start juicing him and getting him some experience points here. But I think at the end of the day, Miles Sanders, I don't believe that he's going to last on the team long. I feel like his role is probably going to be won out by Jaden Blue. The hope would be that, right?
Yeah, that's definitely the hope. You're hoping your rookie is going to take out a guy that's bounced around to a few teams. I just have this weird feeling that Miles Sanders is going to be half decent this year. I don't know what it is.
And that's not a bad problem.
He's a snake. He's a snake.
If Javonte Williams is just like a mid running back, but then Sanders comes back and starts playing like he did when he was in Philly, okay, like...
Still a good thing to have. It's a good problem to have.
Oh, it's a great problem to have. And I'm not saying, now we need to start Jade on Blue because we signed him as a rookie. It's like, no.
Make him earn it.
Make him earn it, absolutely.
Tight ends, we got 3 of them, and here they got the number right. Jake Ferguson, Luke, the second-round pick from Michigan, Schoonmaker, and Brevin Spanford. This is, if I'm going to say on the offense, one of the most kind of question marks, because you had Fergie, who had a really good year 3, year 4, disappeared a little bit, got his contract extended. Hopefully has with the matchups that are going to be happening with the wide receiver room, should have a good chance. And then let's see if Luke Schoonmaker or Brevin Spanford can add to the stat line, or if they're just going to be really good blockers.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see how they use Spanford. Schoonmaker, I mean, he's kind of just a blocker, so I don't really even notice him on the field.
We haven't seen much more to prove us wrong.
No, and it might just be scheme where they're like, when we're passing, Ferguson's on the target, and when we're blocking, Schoon's in there. So,
and I'm fine with him being a blocking guy if we have a running back that has 1,200 yards.
Oh,
100%. If him blocking ends up having a guy get 1,200 yards, I'm fine with it.
Or if he ends up with like something like 4 or 5 touchdowns.
Yeah.
You know, like he's just a red zone dude.
Red zone guy, and then can bring, we're fine with that. And this is year 3 for him. So
it is.
A lot of eyes on Schoonmaker this year. Year 3, we've
second round.
Second round pick. Year 3 is that it's better get off the pot time.
Because he ain't going to get second round money.
No. He needs to have a couple big years if he wants to get paid.
One thing, though, Jake Ferguson, we speaking with Cooter Doodle, and she's like, he's in that range of like, I think in the higher part of it, but he's in that range of kind of the gray area of tight ends. I want to see him this year push himself so that he's at least at the obvious top of that bubble, if not moving into the tier below all the elites.
Yeah, you want to see him have a year that he had in 2023.
And he doesn't have to do much. If he ends up with 600 yards and whatever, 6 touchdowns.
Oh, that'd be good.
Yay.
That'd be good. Especially with the other guys that you got catching balls. And that's a good segue to the wide receivers. If Jake Ferguson can put up 6 touchdowns, considering he didn't have a single one last year, with these dudes, this is besides on the offensive side of the ball, I'm going to say wide receiver and interior offensive line are the cream of the crop of our positional group.
Yeah, we got CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, Jalen Turpin. Imagine you combine the two.
Jalen
Tolbert, Cavante Turpin, and Ryan Flanoy. And welcome to the team, officially, I guess, Ryan Flanoy.
Yeah, he made it.
You know, that guy, rookie last year, now did enough.
Yeah.
In the preseason to make it onto the squad.
I was kind of giving Ad a little bit of shit last week during the preseason game when he brought up Flanoy, but Ad, you know
now
what?
Who's the idiot?
B-Dub-B, I'm going to say this. The B-Dub-Bs, they have some good takes, and sometimes I'm not seeing the stuff they're seeing, and it usually plays out. So maybe, am I the idiot?
No, I'm all analytics, and Adam's all emotion. That's why.
Ad's eye-watching, like he really settles on what his eyes are telling him, and a lot of the time it
works.
It works out.
I hate to fucking admit it.
I know, and I'm only saying it because he's not here.
Exactly, and we're gonna erase this off the podcast.
Yeah, get rid of it. Okay, and just erase. It's that Men in Black look into this.
Yeah.
Look into this bubbly.
Let's, for the sake of argument, assume, because he still is, Micah Parsons is on this team. He's going to be playing. Is this not the third? Is this not a competitive to the wide receiver?
So that's why I kind of broke it down. If we're going to go team wide, this could be the best.
Yeah,
definitely best on defense. I'd go wide receiver and defensive end on respective position or sides of the balls. Sure. But if you're going to go to strictly positional, this has to be.
We got Micah Parsons, Dante Fowler doing his second cup of coffee with the Cowboys, Marshawn Nealand, Donovan Zuriaku, a.k.a. D-Easy, thank you. James Houston.
Who battled his fucking way on the team.
Yes, he did.
I might have to get a 53, man. If he does something crazy. Week 1 against the Eagles,
sack.
You know your best way of
strip.
Yeah, if he makes Jalen Hurts fumble the ball, that's a good way. And you know that they're going to have a heavy rotation.
With 6 dudes and Sam Williams here. What I love is been looking forward to Sam Williams. He got injured. Been looking forward to Marshawn Nealand. He got injured. Looking forward to DZ. He got injured. Love myself some Dante Fowler. Just welcome back to the team. Had a great year, actually.
Killed it with
Washington.
With the Commanders last year.
And, of course, Micah Parsons and then James Houston's story. The defensive end group.
It's fun.
Is a fun, awesome
Only
group.
thing that could derail it is 3 injuries.
Well, then you'd have half the guys. Yeah.
Right? Like, that would fuck it up pretty good.
Defensive tackles.
Ugh.
This one's Osa Digizua.
Nice. And
Solomon.
I don't mean to dog Osa because Osa's a dog, but
He's the only gem here.
he's the only gem. Solomon Thomas, interested to see Dak lookalike. Interested to see what he could do, but then you just like the last three, Mozzie Smith, not sold. Jay Toya, he's a rookie. He's going to have growing pains. And then Perion Winfrey making the team, that's an accomplishment, but just not sold on this team. And I wouldn't be surprised if the Cowboys end up picking up someone's cut player before the season. Does it happen? I don't know, but I wouldn't be surprised.
There was that Baltimore Ravens defensive tackle who was cut. They call him the Nigerian Nightmare. I know that's already been used for.
Hey, recycled nicknames as long as they work, I'm okay with it.
If he's from Nigeria, and he's a nightmare.
LaDainian Tomlinson was LT after Lawrence Taylor was LT.
Yep.
Nigerian Nightmare who played for Kansas City way back in the days, a running back. Okoye. And why not? I like the nickname.
Hey, it's a good moniker to have. Osa Digizua is so much higher in terms of the tier than these other four guys that not only is that shitty for Mozzie Smith, but just thank the Lord they signed Osa to a multiple-year contract.
Imagine they wouldn't have got Osa, and you're looking at this. And you look at and that's why when we were looking at we had talked about the Osa, if we had to keep Osa, and this was prior to free agency, if we had to pick between Osa Digizua and Jordan Lewis, who we would pick. And I think all of us took Osa just because we knew
It's weak.
That the defensive tackle was so bad without him. The unfair thing when you look at these five guys is they're all defensive tackles, but they do all play such different positions.
Yeah, Osa's not a Mozzie Smith.
They're completely different. Like Osa and Solomon Thomas are essentially the same.
Yeah.
Like positional and size, and then Mozzie and Jay Toya. So it's kind of like you got Osa and Solomon are your 1 and 2 at that spot, and then Mozzie and Jay are your 1-2 in that spot, that's what makes me nervous is your Mazza and your rookie are your 1-2 at that spot.
Yeah, I have more hope. Or if I was betting, I would bet that Jay Toya emerges more than I think Mozzie Smith actually comes in.
At least he's a big body, man. And when you watch them both in preseason, the only time I seen guys getting blasted, double teamed, and pushed off the line, it was Mozzie. And just unfortunate. I hate to say it. I hate to be pissed off and rag on Mozzie, but I'm just not settled on him being the answer at all.
You know, before we move on, I got a little, because I love to be honest, but when I see a guy kind of feel down or maybe I felt in the game, I saw on Mozzie's face, he realized the NFL is tough.
And his face was gone. It was gone.
And that, for me, I was like, oh, I love to fucking rag on you, dude, but if you're emotionally hurt by this, then I want to be obviously he can't hear a word I'm saying, but I'm like,
you got to astral project to him.
Yeah, just give this guy whatever he needs. He needs confidence. And if he's not getting, if he doesn't believe he's that guy, he's not going to be that guy. Anyways, linebackers. Let's move on to something.
Another spot that I'm feeling a lot more confident at than I have in previous seasons. Maurice, our boy, Leafau, love him. I do. That 35, we both talked about getting 35 jerseys.
Looks he's a fun player to watch.
He's fun. He's the Polynesian punch man. Then you got the two newcomers that we brought over, Jack Sanborn and Kenneth Murray.
Yep.
Saw a little bit of Jack Sanborn in the preseason. He had a nice TFL. Have not seen Kenneth Murray at all, so I'm excited for that. Damone Clark, saw a bunch of them. I've been one of his biggest haters and biggest critics. He looked good in preseason.
Yeah, I would say
enough to excite me at least.
If you look at the last 3 years that we've really been judging Damone Clark, stock up. In his compared,
totally his preseason, he was stock up.
Yeah, so
Garrett totally.
But it is definitely a Kyle Pitts type of scenario.
Yeah, you just never know what you're gonna get.
Yeah,
and then Shamar James had a pick last game. The guy, the rookie out of Florida. I mean, he did some things. The depth looks good. The players look good. Linebackers, I feel good.
Looks better than we've ever had linebackers, I think, and that is without including Overshown coming back at some point in the season. So.
And then you stack that with Eberflus as kind of the linebacker whisperer.
Yeah.
They're going to have to pick up slack for the defensive tackles. At least we have some guys, some dogs behind our defensive tackles.
Yeah, I think we're going to see some really good things come out of Maurice Liufau. If it's not the entire season, he's going to start. I think that we'll see him progress to a point where it's like, wow, we got to re-sign this guy.
I hope so.
Yeah, that's what I really want.
I really hope so.
Cornerbacks here. 6 of them.
An interesting one. So they had CJ Goodwin on this list, but I thought I saw him on the.
Yeah,
I thought I saw him on the waived, but maybe they brought him back on.
He was on the wave. So, anyways, let's just assume that we'll take this list for its.
Can I just ask you, okay, and another guy, Wilkes Booth, I didn't see him on anything.
Wilkes Booth is on this, so this list might not be correct.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm pretty sure Wilkes Booth made it. I don't even know who the fuck Bridges or Stewart are.
Hang on.
But while you're AJ searching, we got cornerbacks Trevon Diggs, Deron Bland, Courier, Elam. Those are going to be our top 3. Oh, Booth got cut, Stephen White's saying.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's just wasn't on the list that we were looked at.
Okay, well, look, what we were sharing earlier, I think, was stuff that was coming out in this.
So Wilkes Booth's gone.
Let's
and
take
CJ
this.
Goodwin's back.
And CJ, what a fucking Marty Jannetty, eh?
Oh, okay. So Stephen White's updating us.
Okay.
Stephen, this is
Thank
why we
you,
love you.
Steven.
This is why we love you.
Chat GP Steven?
Stephen GPT?
Yeah, Stephen GPT.
We got 2 corners today off wire. So that's Bridges and Stewart. This is where we do our prep for our show.
Thank you, sir.
Steven, thank you. Okay.
All right, now we're going to have an instant reaction.
Trequez Bridges and Reddy Stewart. I like Reddy.
Look.
Are you ready, Stewart?
After Diggs, Bland, and Elam, and if you could include Wilkes Booth, crack him if you got him.
Crack me. Oh, shit. Was it crack him?
Everyone else was, I don't fucking know. I thought Childress also made the team, but I guess we're not seeing that.
He probably got cut with these 2 dudes.
Yeah. So, right. I
Right,
see.
you got to bring 2 on. You got to get rid of 2, and it was Booth and Childress that got booted.
Well, there you go. But I'm really, out of all of them, I want to see Deron Bland just do it again. Do the song and dance again.
Just be that guy.
Because if Diggs doesn't, and I hate to say it, I kind of have a low expectation of what Diggs can do. If he's not getting interceptions, I just don't know that he's more than an average cornerback. But he's a veteran, and
he's seen it.
Exactly. I hope he proves me wrong. But I really am hopeful that Deron Bland takes that step and becomes our number 1 cornerback on the team. True cornerback. Diggs may still get more interceptions, but we know Bland can do that too. But Kyrie Elam, 1-year deal.
Great training camp.
Great training camp, and maybe he had some cramps too. But he had a couple good plays near interceptions in the preseason. I'm just excited to see what he can do. But after that, I don't fucking know. Cowboys better hope there's not an injury on the cornerback.
Yeah, cornerback could get greasy real fast. You need Siobhan Revel to be out there.
Yeah, just to see.
Just to see if they. I mean, and they could have a steal there. So just the band has to stay together until we get some help back. Safeties is an interesting one, AJ. Guys that are proven, guys that have been on the team for a long time. One of your fan favorites, but you got Malik Hooker, the Cowboys brought to the team a couple seasons ago. Donovan Wilson, fan favorite of us, has had a pretty roller coaster career.
Not the best last 2 seasons, but we're gonna see what Eberflus does, because when Donovan Wilson was playing a little bit more of a run stopping role,
he looked better.
Yeah, he looked a lot better.
Got into the game and he made plays early, got some sacks, had some TFLs, and then rounded out with Wanye Thomas and Marquez Bell, who I want to say are both undrafted guys, but have been on the Cowboys for the last few seasons.
Yeah. I mean, nothing. Same old here. I'm expecting.
This is what we know. These guys are now leaders on the defense.
Yeah, exactly.
Speaking of leaders of the team and guys that we're used to, the best specialists in the goddamn fucking league. I'll argue that toe to toe with anyone. I think you could have Cavante Turpin also in there.
Sure.
Just as a kick returner. But you look at Brandon Aubrey, Brian Anger, and Trent Sieg.
Yep.
On top of having Aubrey as your return man, you got to be liking the special teams.
Yeah, and someone said, or there's this conversation going around on the internet anyways about, because that kicker hit a 70-yard field goal, that someone's going to do it.
Oh, it's going to happen
at some point.
It's going to
take a ballsy coach to make that
to call it, because you don't get that. It's got to be in like a game that you already have a pretty good lead,
and you're just trying,
you're just trying to get in for But these kickers are getting pretty insane, man. And I know we know B-Obs could hit a 70-er.
We do, but I just love his consistency and his accuracy. And like you mentioned, we got, if not the best specialists in the league, they're definitely in that top tier. So. There's the roster. That's all 53 men of them.
The first one, at least. The first 53-man roster we're going to see. And, guys, we are a week away, 8 days, 7 days, whatever you want to call it. Next week, next Thursday, September 4th, we're going to see the Dallas Cowboys travel to Philadelphia to take on the hated Philadelphia Eagles, who happen to be the Super Bowl defending Philadelphia Eagles, unfortunately.
Does that mean if we beat them, we get the cup?
You tell me. I'll tell you this much. If the Cowboys go into Philadelphia and win Thursday next week, I'm going to be jacked up because I am betting on the Cowboys.
I'm going to say
100% plan on winning money.
I've been waiting nearly a full year, it feels like, for Dallas Cowboys football, and now I'm kind of saying, just give me one more week. I can't. I don't know if I can take this nervousness. I don't know if I can take it.
Well, you're right. You said we've waited almost a year because by midseason, let's be realistic, last year. By the time Dak was hurt week 8, it was kind of done.
We knew it.
We knew it was done. We fit, and you know what? It was still fun.
It was fun because the Cowboys.
Are we coping?
Well, they kept us. They kept winning games they shouldn't be winning.
Enough. They stayed in contention. But we are a week away from Dallas Cowboys football that matters. We're going to see Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, and crew take the field at the Link. And all I got to say is, if you're not down with the Dallas Cowboys, if you're one of those little ragtag muffins that runs around into chat rooms trying to mess with us, we're going to look you in the face all week, and we're going to go ahead and tell you to go fuck yourself. Where's that camera? Give those birds.
Unless you're super chatting us and you just hang out.
How about this? Fly, Eagles, fly.
We'll see you all next Thursday on our YouTube.
Well, Wednesday.
Next Wednesday.
Tuesday.
Next
September
Tuesday.
2nd.
Tuesday we're doing our show next week. Thursday game day.
Yeah, it's
see
back.
you then.
Season's back, baby.
Peace.